Dear students, the next topic we are going to discuss in this chapter is negative interspecific interaction. What is meant by negative interaction? Negative interaction is also called antagonism or harmful interaction. In this kind of interaction, there involves two species or two members which belong to the same species. They are interacting in such a way that only one species or one member will be advantageous, while the other species or other member will be disadvantageous to the former. Okay, so this is called a negative interaction. Only if there occurs two members, only one will be benefited, other will be disadvantageous or other will be harmful. Generally, three different kinds of interactions are categorized in this negative interaction. They are competition, predation, and parasitism. First one is competition. I told you in the previous class, competition is the interaction between two species or two members where overpopulation, overcrowdedness, or the scarcity of food materials happen. So it is also, we can say that it is struggling between the organism for the same or common resource which is very short in supply. Those organisms which is better adapted to live by means of this competition are generally continuing its life there. So it is also called the survival of the fittest. Generally, there are two different kinds of competitions are seen in population. They are called resource competition and interference competition. In the case of resource competition, as the name indicates, this is a kind of competition for resource. As they are utilizing the resource in a much more way, we can say that this kind of competition is very exploitative in nature. They are exploiting the resource. While the case of interference competition, this is a competition which is not for resource, but it is generally done by means of physical force. They are making some attack on other species. Okay, this is called the interference competition. We can also say that the interference competition generally resulted by means of the aggressive behavior. Okay, then comes predation. Predation is a kind of interaction in which there involves two different species. One is called a predator and other one is called a prey. Here, one species, that is predator, will always prey or always eat the prey species. One species will prey upon the other. That means the predator species will prey the prey. It generally involves, I told you that, two different species. A predator. A predator is characterized by a large sized and strong individual, while the prey is characterized by a small sized and weak individuals. Examples for predator and predators are most of the carnivorous animals as well as carnivorous plants. Generally, the predations are classified into three different categories. They are herbivory. You may be knowing that the animal which is feeding on plant. Here you can see that a deer is feeding on this branch of this particular plant. It's a herbivory. It's a kind of predation. Here the predator is deer and the prey is grass. Then the next one is carnivory. The animals which prey upon other animals. For example, here. This is the predator and this is the prey. Then another one is called a cannibalism. Have you heard about this term? Cannibalism. Cannibalism is nothing but here the predator as well as the prey will belong to the same species. For example, here you can see that a spider. Actually, what spider is doing here is that the spider is eating another spider. So this predator and the prey will be coming under the same species. Okay. Then comes the last one, parasitoidism. Parasitoidism is also called the insect parasitism. Here what happens is that the insect parasite lay its eggs on other host insects. Okay, then what happens after the egg hatches into larvae, it will feed upon this host insect. Okay, for example, the case of flies and wasps, it will feed upon the caterpillar of other insects. Clear? So that is called a parasitoidism. It is also a kind of predation. Then comes the detail of parasitism. Parasitism is also called the antagonism. It is an antagonistic relationship in which one species derives some biological requirements from another. The species which generally obtains the requirement is called the parasite. Okay, and the species which will provides this biological requirements for the parasite is called a host. And in this reaction, which member is advantageous? The parasite is advantageous over the host. Here the host is disadvantageous. Again, the parasites are classified into plant parasites and animal parasites. Let's move to the detail of plant parasites. Plant parasites are classified into two different categories, that is total parasite and partial parasites. In the case of total parasite, it will be exclusively parasitic in nature throughout their life, and it will never be phototrophic in nature. For example, Cuscuta. In Malayalam, it is called Mudilla Thali. This is the Cuscuta. The Cuscuta is a total stem parasite because it will destruct the stem of this plant. Then Rafflesia and Balanoflora. The Rafflesia and Balanoflora is an example of total root parasite. It will generally, this is a Rafflesia plant. This plant will generally destruct the root of the host plant. Okay, so that is called a total stem parasite and a total root parasite, which is coming under the category total parasite. Then comes the partial parasite. The partial parasite means it is parasitic in nature, but it is able to phototroph. It undergoes phototrophism or photosynthesis. That is called a partial parasite. They are parasite as well as they are able to synthesize their own food by photosynthesis. The best example is called a Loranthus, and Loranthus is an example of a partial stem parasite because it is generally dwelling on the stem of mangoes. Here is mangoes or other plant part or other plant or other trees, and then Centellum. Centellum is a root parasite. Parasite is generally affecting on the root of the host plant. Okay, so that's all about the plant parasites. Then comes the animal parasites. Animal parasites are classified into various categories. Let's move to the detail. The first one is microparasites or macroparasites. As the name indicates, these parasites are microscopic in view. For example, bacteria and fungi. Then biotrophic parasites. And this biotrophic parasite, as the name indicates, they thrive or they live only in living host. Whenever the host dies, they will either perish or leave from the host body and moves into another living body. Okay, for example, worms and fleas. Then comes necrotrophic parasites. Here, unlike in biotrophic parasites, it's quite opposite of biotrophic parasite. Here, these parasites generally thrive in the host even though it is dead. Okay, generally it dwells in the dead bodies. Okay, example, blowfly. Then comes parasitoid. The parasite of parasite is called a parasitoid. In the previous slide, I have already told you that what is meant by parasitoidism. The parasite, in the case of parasitoidism, the insects will lay their eggs on other insects, and whenever they hatches, it will feed upon the insect. Okay, in which insect it lays eggs, it will feed, the larvae will feed upon this on that particular insect, host insect. That is called a parasitoid. What is meant by ectoparasites? Ectoparasites are the parasites which generally lives on the body surface. For example, head louse. Then endoparasite, the parasite which generally lives inside the body of host. That's called the endoparasite. For example, Plasmodium, and this is Entomoeba histolytica. Okay. Then now we are discussing about the different kinds of host. We have already went through the what are the different types of plant as well as animal parasites. Now we are discussing about the host. Hosts are also classified into 4 different types. What are they? They are definite or primary host, in which the host which harbors the adult parasites are generally found or hosting the adult parasites are generally found in the host. That is called a definite or primary host. For example, the man. Man is the definite host of Taenia, Wuchereria, Anopheles, which means the adults of all these parasites that can be seen in this host. So, man is called a definite or a primary host. In the case of intermediate host, the parasite spends only its larval stage or asexual stage. The later stage will be on the other animal. That is called the intermediate host. For example, Anopheles. In the case of Anopheles mosquito, its intermediate host is pig. Then comes paratenic host. Here, the host will act as a carrier for its for the transmission of these parasites. Okay, that is called a paratenic host. For example, mosquito. We know that mosquitoes are carriers of many disease-causing organisms. So this is called a paratonic host. Then reservoir host. Reservoir host means the parasite which will be affected by host act as a reservoir for other parasites. Okay, I will cite you with an example. For example, in dog generally acting as a reservoir host of Entamoeba histolytica. Whenever in some parts of the world the dog will be affected by this particular parasite, Entamoeba histolytica, and this will be later be the reservoir host of many Entamoeba histolytica species or organism. That is called a reservoir host. Then also mammals, generally monkey, man and apes, they are also acting as a reservoir host of trypanosoma organisms, a microbe, right? So these are the different kinds of host. I hope you understood what is meant by the negative interaction. If you have any doubt, please do in the comment section. Thank you.